All right, mold it is. That's what people want. That's what the people will get. Okay, so Assassin's Creed Shadows, for everyone who remembers this conversation. I'll probably buy this game. If I buy it now, I just won't play it. That's what happened with Diablo 4 for me. I bought it when it released, and then I didn't play it. I only play games years after they've come out, except in rare instances. Do Hassan reacting to Battlebound said no. But yeah, Assassin's Creed came out recently after much discourse relating to the black male lead character and the female shinobi character, aka it's really sad. Where is my male samurai that isn't black and my ninja that isn't a woman? And people were very mad, and they said, "Go woke, go broke." Nobody should actually buy Ubisoft games if they play on PC. Just get the Ubisoft Plus Denims. Maybe. I've heard that the game is pretty fun, and I'm gonna be honest, guys. If this is accurate, it seems like they've sold. Well, not sold, but they've also. It means that they have had to have either sold or gotten a lot of people on like the pass. It becomes the biggest Steam release in Assassin's Creed franchise history with 64,000 concurrent players. It is currently their most successful Assassin's Creed game. The last Assassin's Creed, I think the last biggest Assassin's Creed game had like 500,000 players on release within the first 24 hours. This one had 1 million players within the first 24 hours. So it's doing really, really, really well. And despite many people trying to cancel the game for having a black male lead, it hasn't worked at all because guess what? People don't really care about that. They care about whether or not the game is fun to play. These same people are the ones who love Last Samurai, where Tom Cruise plays a Civil War veteran turned into a samurai leader of the shogun. Yeah. It's also like pretty historically accurate. No, I mean, the thing is, Yasuke was a real person. The details on how much of what he did, or like what are the details surrounding him, are less important because we always fabricate historical stories. I mean, like, aren't there characters in the fucking Assassin's Creed world that fucking fly or some shit? Doesn't like Da Vinci? Doesn't he make like isn't he like an alien or some shit? Doesn't one guy like fights the Pope or something? Like, they put real characters, embellish the story a little bit, make the game fun. It's people played, not sales. Totally different. Yeah, you're right. People playing it is a better metric on how much fun it is. Since people buying it could just be people supporting the game and then not playing it. People being like, well, I'm going to fight for the so wokeism works. So I'm going to buy the game, but I'm actually not going to play it. But when it's, first of all, Steam, you have to buy it. If you're playing it on Steam, you bought it. And this specific thing is talking about Steam. So not only one, is it that people playing the game is a better metric, but also two, this is on Steam, and on Steam you have to buy it. There's no like pass on Steam. So unfortunately, yeah, the game has been biggest Steam release because it usually takes 2 years for Assassin's Creed to come to Steam. Let me see. What was the last Assassin's Creed game? Before this one? Mirage? Jesus. Or is it Valhalla? People are saying Mirage and Valhalla. I haven't played either, so I can't comment. Valhalla was 2020. Mirage was 2023. Okay. And when did it release? On which platforms? This was released on PC. Were they all released on the same day? It says Mirage was released PS5, PS4, PS5, Windows, Xbox, and Xbox Series on October 5th. So these were all released on the same day. So I don't know what you're talking about, Chatter. Unless you think this is wrong. I don't. We can check Valhalla. I thought people liked Valhalla, but again, I didn't play it. I think the problem is that I didn't get into I didn't get into Assassin's Creed when I was younger because it was all console initially. And then Valhalla. Let's see. It came out on Windows. And it looks like it says it was released on November 10 for PlayStation, Windows, Xbox. So this one is also wrong. That didn't take 2 years. I mean, this is saying that they were released on the same day here. So I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe they're talking about like that it's on the Windows launcher. Or sorry, on like the Ubisoft launcher. Do you think I didn't mean to click Islamic Golden Age? Steam. Oh, okay. So this one was released on Steam in December 6th. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see. What about Mirage? Control finding Steam doesn't come up with anything. Mirage. Assassin's Creed. Release date? This one says... No, it said it was released. It said it released it on October 17th. So a few days afterward? No, wait, this says... Is it... ...2023. Okay, so it was a year after. As far as I know, Mirage was also a smaller game in general compared to Valhalla. I played Mirage on Steam day one. I think this one was released on Steam a year after. Okay, this doesn't change the fact that it has 1 million concurrent players, right? Like 1 million total players in the first 24 hours. Assassin's Creed. Is it 2 million now? Assassin's Creed Shadow hits 2 million players, putting it on track to be the series' most successful game yet. Yes, it does. Ubisoft is so desperate that all you need to do is pay $17 to play for free for a month. So? Why does that matter? I think what matters is whether or not people are playing the game. Also, yeah, you're not playing for free if you're paying $17 a month, as other people have mentioned. You can watch everything on Netflix for free if you pay $20 a month. No, I get it. I get a little bit of girl math. A little girl math. I get it. A little girl math on a Monday morning. I get it. Desperate, pretty sure all AAA game makers have a subscription system. I mean, Xbox has like a Game Pass of some kind, right? I'm pretty sure that that's true. I've just never been a Game Pass enjoyer personally. I've always outright bought my games. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, EA I think also might have one. PlayStation has one. Xbox has one. It's pretty common, right? It's because it ends up making more money because people who otherwise wouldn't have bought maybe the $17 price tag are more willing. And it ends up paying for itself because a lot of people forget to cancel their subscription. So you end up raking in a bunch of extra money that they otherwise wouldn't have collected. This has to do with like profit maximization for companies. That you can price different things differently to rake in more profit. And the people who want to own the game can own the game, and the people who don't want to, you aren't pricing them out entirely. They can still play the game. No, because people think the game is making so much money because the player count is high, but it's not. Ubisoft is desperately trying to get people to play the game, giving it away and playing for free in Ubisoft Plus. But we're not talking about whether or not it's making money. I've never made a claim about how much money it's making. I'm just talking about whether or not the game is fun. People don't play games that are free for fun. I mean, League of Legends is free. And a lot of people are like, I'm not playing that game. You cannot make me play that game. I'm not installing that game. I don't engage in self-harm. You know what else is free? Heroes of the Storm. And like 4 people play that. Whether or not a game is free or whether or not a game makes money is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about whether or not people are enjoying playing the game. I mean, like, so for example, Concord, I think, is a good example where like Concord wasn't a failure because it made no money. It was a failure because nobody wanted to fucking play it. How many people did they get? 4? How many people played it? 2? No, but really, I'm trying to find a number on how many people played the game. How much did it even sell for? I don't even know how much it sold for. Probably sold for like I would guess $60, which is what most games sell for. Damn, $70. Oh. It had an all-time peak of 700 players. You ever put $100 million in a game? And you can't get more than 700 concurrent players? That's why it was a failure. It wasn't a failure because it made no money, although that contributed to its being a failure. People considered it a failure because it wasn't fun to play and it looked like shit. And also, like, even if you didn't, or you didn't know that it was even a game, or you didn't know that it was a thing. When people are saying that Assassin's Creed is a success, it's because a bunch of people are downloading the game and playing the game. And on Steam, it's a good amount of people, and the people on Steam are actually buying it outright. Like, this is objectively not a failure game. It's just not. It's just like no metric would claim that this is a failure. I don't know what to tell you, man. But anyways, a bunch of people have been trying to say that it's going to fail for a very long time, including people who did this. I didn't get a chance to watch it last time, but I want to watch it with you guys this time. Street interview. Assassin's Creed. Wow, I just misspelled all of that. All right, this one. Also, people forget that even if a game is free, it's not worth your time. That many people going, wow, I'm going to invest my afternoon into this is absolutely successful. Yeah. At 100%, I totally agree. 100%. Like, again, Heroes of the Storm is free.
Your job today, asking for a friend.
And there's probably only like maybe 2 of you that have ever played it ever. And you've opened the Blizzard launcher many times, and you've seen Heroes of the Storm on the Blizzard launcher many times. You know it exists. You know it's real. And you're like, I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that. I played HOTS once for the Overwatch skin. In my opinion, I think we should go back to the better metric of determining whether or not a game is good by the number of people that want to play the game, right? That's, I think, a pretty good metric of a game. Is the game fun to play? It's a good game. Are a lot of people playing it and having fun playing it? It's probably a good game, right? Lily mains, you people are sick. You are ill if you play Lily. But anywho, and yeah, if this many people want to play this game, if this many people, maybe they watched fucking Shroud stream. I don't know if actually Shroud has been playing it or not. But if they watched someone playing and they were like, you know what, actually this looks pretty fun, I'm gonna play it. And a bunch of people play it, then it's a successful game. If it looked fun to play by the trailers and people are playing it, that means it did its job. It got people to be interested enough to download and play the game. That's the best metric on seeing whether or not a game does well. Okay, but people have been trying so hard to push this idea, and I get that people dislike Ubisoft for other reasons, which is valid and fair. I mean, I think currently the only game platform that isn't totally shit is like Valve. And it's like that's only a matter of time before it goes to shit. But like I think that people are so driven on this anti-Ubisoft train that they want the game to fail and they want to believe that the game is failing. But like also, let's not reject reality. If it's not failing, it's not failing, right? Right. It's just not. Assassin's Creed. Let me close some of these tabs. Shadows. How much does it go for on Steam? Let me see. It is, no, this is the Ubisoft store. On Steam, it's 70. Oh my God, please just let me fucking view the page. Okay. It's $70 on Steam. And I mean, Steam reviews don't lie. Very positive, almost 9,000 reviews. I have yet to be led astray by Steam reviews. All right. What? What is this message? Valve, do this bitch even play game? What? What are you? Yeah, Valve. The owners of Steam? Huh? What are you talking about? I don't understand. What is the question? I don't understand the question. I'm confused by the question. Huh? It's Valve? What? I don't okay. Maybe they're just smoking crack on a wonderful Monday morning. I respect it. Okay, moving on. But yeah, people have been trying so hard to pretend like this game is going to suck really badly.
What's up, guys?
They went out of their way to go interview people in
I'm
Japan.
Brutus, and I came to Akihabara to
I
ask
love this
Japanese
video
people.
so much. I'm so happy we can bring this video back now that the verdict is out.
What they think. What are their thoughts about the latest Assassin's Creed trailer? Ubisoft had just released the trailer last week, and I've seen many people over the internet sharing their opinions. I think that in this case, Japanese opinion matters a lot. Don't you guys think? So I brought my friend Sean with me. Say hello to them, Sean. Yeah, he's a
Not the fucking sound.
dear follower who quickly became a
Sound
friend of
effect.
mine here in Japan, and he's gonna help me with the interviews and translating what people say. Okay, so let's get to it.
Hi, Theo. I love the B-roll. Excellent. Excellent B-roll.
So ask them if I can interview them one per time, because I would like to interview them to ask for their answers separately.
一応そのインタビュー、質問は一人ずつでもよろしいですか？ちょっとはい。
大丈夫？
はい。じゃあお先によろしいですか？じゃあお先にちょっとこちらトレーラーの方
Okay, so first you'll watch a minute of this video, the trailer.
見てもらって、その後にちょっと日本を
And then we're going to ask you some questions on whether or not you think it appropriately represents Japan.
適切だと思うか、ちょっと意見をくださればとお願いします。
Sorry.
What did you say?
Just show them the video.
Okay, sure. So here's the trailer of the game. Make sure you can hold it. Okay.
一応こんな感じですっていうことです。
The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river. Greed. Power. Vengeance.
And you... Will you continue down that river?
Also, let me just say really quickly, it's really funny. The premise of this video is really funny because like it assumes that every single Japanese person is heavily invested in Japanese culture and like Japanese literature and timepieces basically. But like that would be like grabbing a random person on the street in the UK and being like, well, do you think Bridgerton is accurate? It's like, what if you just run into a guy who just really likes soccer and going to the pub? Like, he's gonna see that and be like, I don't fucking know, dude. I know, mate. Like, are there some people that are gonna be more interested in that type of media? Yeah, of course, right? Sorry, soccer, football. My apologies, the American in me. I'm sorry.
Or choose another path beyond what we see?
And we must look for it together.
I remember watching a Japanese game show where the game was if a word was Japanese or not. One person said that lunch was a Japanese word. That's really funny.
We must learn to trust, rebuild.
Also, the other problem with this is if you're showing people an American trailer for like a Japanese timepiece or something, they're going to assume that it's been Americanized. I mean, the guy watching can hear that they're speaking English, right?
and
I guess
follow
unless they are playing the English version for us and they're playing the Japanese version for that guy. I don't know.
So, do you think that the trailer that you just watched is actually a good representation, a good and accurate representation of
Sorry, period piece, not timepiece.
Japanese people history and culture?
今のトレーラーを見て日本の文化や歴史の適切な表現だとまあちょっとはい表すには適切だと思いますかどう思いますか
まあそこまで日本の
I'm not super detailed on Japanese culture, but I didn't think there was anything strange with it. Literally what I just said. Like this is exactly the same as pulling a random American on the street and being like, "What did you think of like showing them a game that's supposed to take place during the Civil War and being like, "Do you think this looks accurate?" They'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I learned that in like when I was 8. I don't fucking remember. Looks pretty accurate, I guess. Maybe. You are a bimbo. What a joke. So no response of any value. No response of any value. Damn, dude, this guy is losing an argument to a bimbo. You sound like Kamala Harris. Kind of look like her, too. I don't even know what the insult is. Insult failed successfully. I don't... Huh? What is the argument? I don't even understand. How's Hassan doing?
Yay, so glad to have found you half 2 years ago. Here's to many more DNM love, DNM love.
Wait. I can't believe it, dude. This chatter came in. I don't have it, but like the Mrs. Puff meme when she's sitting in like the when she's sitting in the I forget what the name is. The psych ward or whatever. But it's just like pictures of Hassan on every wall. The padded room, yes. What? Hey, chat. Good luck, man. I wish you the best of luck. I know.
文化にめっちゃすごく詳しいというわけではないんですけれども、特にそんなに違和感はなかったと思います。はい。
はい。なるほどです。
はい。
Good?
Good.
以上。
Yeah, that's it. They asked him one question. And then they left when he said, well, I guess I don't really know what that period looks like. So it looks, nothing stood out. And then maybe they ask him one more.
No more question. 以上。
Sorry.
一応メインの方です。
So what did you say?
He's not very specific, but he doesn't say too much strange going on.
Too much strange going on. Okay, so what did you think about the characters that were depicted in the trailer? Do you think that they fit well the Japanese?
Do you think that the characters fit well? You just
the Japanese
say
people
the slurs, man.
Culture, history points?
トレーラーで登場したキャラクターは日本の文化にすいません日本の文化を表す感じとかまあ登場して
Then wait, I found it. This is this one. When people come in here and they talk about his song, this is the only thing I can think of. It's like his name hasn't even been mentioned in this stream yet. Why are you bringing him up? Why are you? It's kind of gay, bro. Kind of gay.
でなんかやっぱ変なのかまあ大丈夫別に問題はないかなってと。
ああなるほど。まあでもなんだろうな。
That's difficult. I didn't find much strange with them, but it does feel like it mixes some foreign aspects with Japan, but in a good way, which is, again, exactly what I said. It's like, you guys, I mean, we've all watched some anime in here. When they have the American character in an anime, they put like an American, and it always has the same exact look. It's like a blonde-haired character. If it's a chick, she has huge tits. It's like massive, like 10 times larger than the next female character. Blue eyes, and they are the loudest, most rambunctious character in the anime. And that's always the way that they portray the Americans. Always. That's always how they do it. But we see that and we think like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. But it's funny because like even the American characters will still engage in like some Japanese culture. And you're like, that's really funny. You made the American character, but you still made them a little Japanese in like some ways and cultural ways or whatever. But you would expect that, right? Like Dio from JoJo. Yeah, you would expect that. When you see like your culture being represented by a different country, they're going to portray it a little bit differently than how you would portray it, right?
海外チックな感じと日本の感じがまあ組み合わせていい感じに見えたかなと思います。
はい、なるほどです。わかりました。はい、ありがとうございます。はい。
And spoiler alert, by the way, it's like this for every person they interview. Like, here's this person. Samurai is a Japanese thing, but I didn't think there was anything weird with it. I think it was really good. They just keep pulling Japanese people off the street and asking them. And they say, I think the clothing and the armor are really well recreated and detailed. The video also looks pretty good. I think those aspects were well done. And then like the interviewer is like, we have to be more direct. We have to bring up the fact that he's black.
絵も綺麗でしたし、そういうとこは再現されてるかなと思います。
The samurai character that was featured in the trailer is a historical figure called Yasuke. Are you familiar with him?
トレーラーで紹介、登場した侍のキャラクターがヤスケという、歴史の中ではちょっと、黒人の男性ですけど。
So you just asked in the trailer, the black samurai character is a historic black figure called Yasuke, but have you heard of him before?
ご存知ですかね、そちらの方は。
いや、ヤスケっていうのは僕はちょっと知らなかったです。
And then he says, No, I don't know that character.
なるほどです。だな。
ありがとうございます。
はい。Do you have another question?
No, that's all.
もう質問。
That's it. That's the most that they could get. Just him saying, "Oh, I don't know him." After saying, after he said that that the trailer looked good. I think the clothing and the armor look really good in detail. Video looks good. I think those aspects were well done. Yeah, well, do you know that this black character, Yasuke, is black? And have you ever heard of him? I bet you've never heard of him. No, I haven't heard of him. And then that's it. It ends. And then he just keeps going. It's just more of this. I highly recommend. I don't want to spend too long because I want to get through all the content for today.
Real strong.
Eventually, we stop interviewing people, and then the cameraman just interviews the guy, or the guy just interviews the cameraman.
But I think that there's still someone around here who still has to be interviewed.
Nani?
Yeah, I mean, you're Japanese, right?
Yeah, I am.
Born and raised, right?
Yep.
You never even left Japan the whole life, right?
Nope.
Okay, so tell me, do you think that the Assassin's Creed trailer, the latest one, is actually a good and accurate depiction of Japanese culture and people?
For me, if it was fiction, then it'd probably be okay. But I'm not too specific or familiar with the Assassin's.
But it is fiction. Me watching Bridgerton. See, if it was fiction, I could understand why the non-white people have wealth if it was fiction. It's like, but it, but it is fiction. Just because something is a period piece doesn't mean that it's not fiction. What? Huh?
Assassin's Creed series. After hearing that every other game had the main character from that country, the respective country, that's when it felt really racist that Japan doesn't get that. Even the Shinobi character, like even though she's Japanese, and a lot of people have been saying like, hey, there is a Japanese character. I've seen, from what I've seen, Ubisoft said that Yasuke is going to be the main character.
He wanted to say she's a woman so bad. He wanted to say it so bad.
And the main character, Yasuke, is not Japanese, and that's how.
This is also, okay, I'm not going to comment because I haven't played the game, but I thought that they were both main character. I thought you could play as either. I haven't played it. I haven't watched any gameplay, but I thought they were both considered main characters.
It's racist when it comes to the Japan remake. Not remake.
But were you familiar with Yasuke before this trailer?
Absolutely nothing.
Really? Oh, okay.
Oh, if you've never heard of the character before, it's bad. Like, it's so stupid. It's just dumb. It's just so dumb. Anyways, yeah, and then he just, after again, they weren't able to find a single Japanese person on the street that said that they didn't like it. So he just interviews the cameraman. The cameraman's like, I just personally think it's bad. Personally, I think it's bad. I don't like it. It makes me mad. I just don't like it. So, I think this is the perfect time to segue to our mold video for today. Before we get into the mold video, okay? I just want to show you guys some of the headlines because unfortunately, Asmongold actually has been enjoying the game. There's that one clip where someone in chat says, like, don't force yourself to play it. And he's like, I'm not forcing myself. I'm having a good time. The recent titles have been really funny. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? We're going to start with this one. Assassin's Creed Shadows went too far. But before we get there, I'm trying Assassin's Creed Shadows so you don't have to. 300,000 views. I played as Yasuke so you don't have to. 300,000 views. So I want to watch this one with you guys, which it's very funny, the framing of this one. Assassin's Creed Shadows went too far, 1.8 million views. And the best part about it is like, it frames it as though, because everyone's been upset that the main character is not a classically Japanese samurai, right? So they assume that the Japanese must be offended by it. You will be surprised to find that that's not what the Japanese Prime Minister is upset about, actually. He's upset about average American behavior. In fact, he's upset about, like, very, which one of them was it? Which one of the Paul brothers? Ugh, I'm never going to be able to remember this. This is like me trying to remember the Kardashians. Which one of the Logan, Jake, Paul? Which one was the one that was like, he went to the forest or whatever and like recorded and it was very disrespectful? Logan Paul. Okay. Dude, I spoke to a friend, a Japanese friend of mine, and they told me that when they went to Japan and they asked, who do you think of when you think of Americans? They ran into multiple people that said Logan Paul. And like, I actually have never been more embarrassed to be an American than that moment. And you'll be surprised to find, spoiler alert, what the Prime Minister is upset about is American tourist behavior in the game. Not that the character's black. Let's watch it.
We're going to go ahead and look at, this is apparently Ubisoft. Ubisoft has fucked up with this so bad that the Japanese Prime Minister is talking about it. It's being discussed in their parliament. Oh my God.
Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is not happy about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's watch this.
この今言ういわゆる朝栗問題ということについてお伺いしたいんですが。
Did you hear that? He said Asakuri issue, meaning we Japanese keep on talking about this all the time.
Yeah.
So Asakuri issue, he didn't explain about Asakuri issue, right? Because everyone knows.
Oh, so he's basically what he's saying is that it's so well known he doesn't even need to explain it. Yeah, okay.
3月20日にですね、発売予定のフランスの UBI ソフトの株式会社制作の
Okay, well this also kills
Sorry,
my
the framing on that is just so
theory that it was actually them discussing live streaming because he's discussing Assassin's Creed explicitly, right? So it actually wasn't about live streaming. This is actually about Assassin's Creed.
のアサシンクリードシャドウ
That's what this is about.
ついてなんですけど、海外で
Overseas
成功
though,
プレイの動
early
画が
gameplay videos have already popped up on YouTube. I watched them,
それを拝
and
見い
here's
た
what I
しますと
Sorry, before I get, I know I'm gonna cuck you guys for a second. I'm gonna blue ball you guys for a second, but Japanese people are just too polite. They'll never tell you they don't like it, even if they do. I don't think this is good, but this is how Japanese culture is. You should watch like vlogs and conversations from people who are half black, who were born and raised in Japan. And they will, I think, change your opinion on that. Because I assure you that the Japanese people will say something if they want to. They might frame it a little differently, but they will say something. They'll say, something about it didn't sit right with me. They're not going to say, wow, I think that the clothing looked really good. I think the armor looked really good. Which, again, you don't have to take it from me. There's a lot of like YouTubers that are half black who were, again, born and raised in Japan. And they talk about their experiences dealing with like racism in the country. So you don't have to take it from me. I'm talking about people who experienced it firsthand.
That video that went to really viral. And I was surprised that
there's something very rich, I think, about pretending to care about what the Japanese people think and pretending to care that this has ever been about protecting the Japanese people, and then to laugh at something that is clearly very offensive to the prime minister and to the Japanese people. Like, if all of this is just about the fact that we're not being respectful enough to Japanese culture and to Japanese people by putting a character in there that doesn't belong in there, and then laughing at the thing that's offensive, man, dude.
there's a lot of people.
Oh shit. Little F? Yeah, we had a little bit of a hiccup there. Here, let's watch
But that's why I posit that it's not about like caring about what the Japanese people are offended by. It's just that you don't like what's in the game. And you feel like games are going woke, so you feel like you should be upset about this.
Again, sorry about that, guys. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, that went to really viral.
Here it is. Oh,
and I
man.
was surprised that...
Bro, he just tore that shit up.
That
One more
went
time.
to really viral. And
Bro,
I
he
was
went in on
surprised
that shit.
There's a lot of people who think
There it
that's
is.
okay. I think most of people doesn't know that's that shrine and altar. I guess, but a lot of Japanese people feel offended about that video.
イタテポーズシュラインと実名で私の兵庫県の姫路市の入間の国奏者イタテ氷津神社が登場します。ゲームの中でですね。
In the game itself, the main character is samurai, swings the sword inside of a prayer hall.
Samurai swings the sword inside the prayer hall, smashing drums, altars, and sacred objects.
So, surprise, the prime minister doesn't care that the character's black. They care that, hey, if this is supposed to be a sacred space and this is supposed to be a shrine, maybe you should make it not destructible in the game. If you want to make the floors destructible, you want to make the walls destructible, that's fine. But like, we would appreciate if you just made these things non-destructible. I get that you guys want destructible furniture and everything, but it would be respectful to us if you made these things not destructible. Which, like, you can be, so chat, let me say this really quickly. I think you can say, that's stupid, we can do whatever we want, every item should be destructible, or you can say, don't make any of those items destructible. The problem here, and what I'm trying to highlight, is not about what any of us feel, it's that the people who've been pushing for Assassin's Creed to be boycotted because it's offensive to the Japanese people don't care that much about what the Japanese people actually have to say. Which is kind of telling on yourself a little bit, because it shows that you didn't actually care about what they had to say. You just want to be upset about this thing. So you have to find post-hoc rationalization on why you're upset about this thing. If all of this is about, no, I don't care that the character's black, I don't care that it's a woman, I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about if we're doing a time period, or sorry, a period piece, and Assassin's Creed wants to do one in Japan, isn't it the correct, respectful thing to put a Japanese person as the main character? But again, when Japanese people and the Japanese prime minister explicitly says, hey, this whole like destroying these like shrines is not cool, and you laugh at it, it's like, oh, dude, come on. You're giving away the game a little bit here.
He shatters them and slashes at the villagers in the shrine. And what
apparently Ubisoft already patched the shrines.
It looks like priests cutting them down, even shooting.
Yeah, the equivalent would be like a game made in Japan where you destroyed stuff in a Christian church, or you ripped up an American flag. Yeah, which like, I don't really care about any of this stuff because it's all just like video games, in my opinion. I think that games should try to be respectful to other people's culture and stuff. I'm only talking about one thing and one thing only, which is all of the people who were mad about this game claim that it's not that they don't like the black character, it's that it's disrespectful to Japanese people. And if that's your position, you should be very empathetic. To this, right?
Shooting arrows, it's set up so you can commit these violent acts.
Yeah, that's the thing. They can just...
Or fist fight the Pope? Sure, the conversation we're having right now is whether or not... if a Japanese studio did that, right? If a different group of people with different culture made a game desecrating your culture. Not whether or not we make a game where you fight the Pope or something like that, right?
Disabled, but they made it object that breakable.
私はこの話を聞いてですね、ちょっと地元の神社でありますので、直接宮司さんにお話を伺いました。
The chief priest, the game company never reached out, not once, to the shrine about using its name or getting permission. Nothing at all. That's what he said. On top of that, places like Nara,
yeah,
Tojai, other shrines, ancient burial mounds. Oh, I forgot. This is another very important component that you get to wear. Isn't one of the pre-order bonus.
So this is the other thing as well. Someone else is mentioning it as well. Where is it? I think that for a long period of time, nobody cared about this stuff until they realized that it actually was having real life consequences. Let me see if I can find it. One sec. Where is it? Here it is. It's not that the Prime Minister cares about the actual game itself. It's about potentially desecrating real shrines in Japan because of the game. And like, it's funny because the people that talk about Japan, they talk about how it's like, they have a big trust culture. And like these shrines don't have permanent security on them, right? It's not like, it's not like Mount Rushmore where like desecrating that feels impossible. These shrines are like generally pretty publicly accessible. They're not hard to get to, and they're not hard to desecrate if you were going to do that. And unfortunately, people like Johnny Somali have like fucking ruined American, other countries' perspective on foreigners and visitors and Western visitors. So this actually, I just saw this story this morning that the Ghost of Tsushima shrine in Japan, restored by fans, has now been banned and has now banned tourists after an undisclosed, unforgivable act. Like, this is why the prime minister is speaking on this, because it's actually happening in the real world. That there are actual tourists that are coming here and like desecrating what are real, like, spiritual spots for people that have meaning and value beyond the game. And tourists being fucking tourists are defacing shrines, which is very disrespectful. Doing it in real life is actually very disrespectful. And unfortunately, when you're doing it in the game, if it didn't have consequences, that would be fine, but it's unfortunately having consequences. So the next step would be, hey, remove this from your game. Please remove this from your game. To be fair, most streamers are insufferable and obnoxious on their soapboxes. Can't blame these countries. I agree with you. I think that I listen, man, look, I agree with you. I think that if you are a live streamer and you do IRL stuff, there's only like 2 live streamers that do IRL content that should be allowed to be in countries and streaming that. And that's like Jake and Bake. And maybe one other person I don't know about. And every other, and Speed, yeah. And everyone else, no, you are not allowed to stream in our country. I'm sorry. Straight to jail, straight to prison, no streaming in my country. Ginny, yes. Because again, there isn't a lot of respect. Being given to the culture. There is no like when in Rome. Trust me, you're not going to find someone who dislikes streamers more than me, okay?
Of Assassin's Creed Shadows that you get the ancient family emperor's armor with the emperor's seal on it. Oh, robbing imperial.
Do you agree that Japan is racist? I can't comment on whether or not, I can't specifically say whether Japan is racist because first of all, I haven't been there. Second, well, they'd probably be, if they were going to be, they'd probably be to me because I'm considered a foreigner. But I have seen conversations and I've seen videos from people who have talked about their experiences dealing with racism, being, again, half Black in Japan, growing up in Japan. And there's definitely, I would say, very similar, at the very least, very similar to a lot of old American policies. There are a lot of Japanese policies that are indirectly racist. So, for example, hairstyles, right? You're not really allowed to have fun hairstyles if you go to public school in Japan and you're supposed to keep your hair straight. You're not supposed to have like get perms and stuff, which makes it really difficult if your hair is naturally not of that variety. And you have to like, I'm pretty sure from the last, I watched a video of someone explaining it, like you have to go and get permission to have your hair be curly. That like you have to go and get permission from the school, like, yeah, this is just how my hair looks, which is like, dude, that's like fucked. That's fucked. But it's like, it's xenophobic the way that most other countries are xenophobic, right? You're playing around. You just want to call Japan out. What? What the hell are you talking about? Huh? You're the one who said, do you agree Japan is racist? What? The username is crazy. Geisha Big Twins talking about being culturally insensitive. Ooh. Ooh.
Let me see. I just want to show you.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest, this shit's kind of crazy. I've seen this, by the way. Tokyo schools drop controversial dress code on hair and underwear color. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I don't know what the fuck is happening in Japan where there's guides on underwear color. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna be honest. It's a little crazy. For decades, being a student in Tokyo meant that you had to look a certain way. Under the public schools system's dress code, all students had to dye their hair black. Certain hairstyles were prohibited. Even their underwear had to be a designated color. These rules have come under scrutiny and have been criticized and as outdated will be abolished. The city's authorities announced this week. A total of 5 rules will be dropped from nearly 200 public schools across the Japanese capital, including regulations on hair and underwear color, and a ban on 2-block hairstyles, which are long on top and short at the back with sides, a style that's currently in fashion in many countries. The underwear thing is... The issue was thrust into the spotlight in 2017 when a high school student in Osaka prefecture sued her school, a case that attracted national attention. She alleged that she had been forced to dye her naturally brown hair black when she first joined the school, and she was told to re-dye it every time her brown roots came back. She was eventually given academic penalties for not dyeing it often enough. Her lawsuit complained that the frequent coloring had damaged her hair and her scalp and caused her mental distress. She won about $2,790 in damages. But like, for people who don't have straight black hair, it's kind of a fucked up policy to force students to have to constantly adhere to this rule where they're having to put in way more effort and time than other students are having to do. Which, like, listen, dress code requirements, like everyone has to wear a uniform. I understand that. That makes sense. I get it. You're like, honestly, I was always sad that my school didn't have a dress code or that we didn't have a uniform because I was just so lazy. I just wanted to wear the same shirt over and over again, but then I didn't want to get bullied in school the way that I get bullied with streaming. And if you have a uniform, you can just wear the same outfit over and over and over again, which is dope. But I can understand that's fine. But like, you have to fucking, dude, you have to dye your hair and straighten it and have the same hairstyle as everyone else? Fuck, dude. That sucks. That sounds like it fucking sucks, dude. Grass is greener. Yep. Anyways, all right, back to the video.
Show you guys this here. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's been revealed that players will be looting the tomb of an ancestor of the Emperor, sparking controversy in Japan. So the Disiro Kofan is the tomb of Emperor Nintoko, an ancestor of the current imperial family.
And like, again, it's less that it's less that they care about this happening in games, and it's more that they care about this happening in the real world. And the hope is, well, maybe if we try and reduce it in games, it will stop happening as much in real life.
So Yasuke can steal armors. Yeah, there it is. Can steal armor from the imperial family's tomb.
Whoa. The usage of the word steal here is crazy. Oh my God, dude. Just say looting at this point. Oh my.
Whoa,
Yasuke.
you're reading that right. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's been revealed through the art book leaks that you will be getting trophies for looting the Emperor's tomb. That's right. Ancestors of the current imperial family are up for grabs. You can steal the sacred armor of one of the most earliest Japanese emperors in history as Yasuke, a foreigner. Now, I get it. The West doesn't have respect.
All of the Assassin's Creed games have like royal armor that you can take.
For their culture, so it's perfectly fine to slap George Washington in a challenger and have him tear
this guy's voice. Stop.
harassed in the field somewhere. But in Japan, they have a reverence for their culture, and in fact, they're known the world
That's
over.
crazy.
For this. So if Ubisoft is in fact creating a very accurate game and a game that respects the Japanese culture instead of lecturing to it, what the hell is this?
Well, I don't know what it is, but yeah, so that's what's being referred to right here.
映像とか肖像がですね、
Their images
無許可
like this were
で
used
使
without
用されてお
permission.
ります。
That's
本日
happening
はです
too.
ね、大串正樹
Will Neff on helium. Stop.
Masagi Uzoshi, vice manager of the economy, joining us.
国内外問わず
Globally, the
ゲームを
number of
楽しむ
people
ユーザー
enjoying
という
these
のは
games
年々
is
増
keeps.
加し
Wait, sorry, this chatter. Oh, she's in love with Asmon. Always watching and talking about him. So cute. Oh, look. It's Asmon's personal machine. He's here to defend him. Oh, yeah, give him the gluck gluck. Give him the grapefruit. Where will he be if you're not here to defend him? Someone has to do it, okay? Personally, I wouldn't for a guy or of a guy who has like roaches crawling out his, but like, hey man, I'm glad you're here to do it. I personally spend my time criticizing him, but hey man, you keep doing it. You keep going at it. Keep going at it. He'll notice you eventually.
Growing every year. But when it comes to games using footage of specific places without permission, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? So this is the Prime Minister.
This is just kind of insider note. I know some people that send me this video.
Yeah.
So
Insider note with the Yankees cap. Sorry, like it's just a little comedic. All right, let's listen.
they didn't use word of Yasuke. Can't talk about it that detail, but something really scared concerns me. It's that there's an unspoken rule. You cannot cause other trouble to other ministries. I heard they can't use word of Yasuke in here. If you're Japanese, I think this is one of the biggest concern. And they decided to not to mention about Yasuke.
Okay.
That's what they told me. But my concern is that which ministry get trouble if they use word of Yasuke in here? As a Japanese, that's one of the biggest concern. What's going on, really?
I mean, like, I
didn't understand that. I didn't understand
definitely understand it. And it's kind of
Can someone translate? Wait, Asmongold said he understood it.
like,
Let's see.
oh, Jesus. Let me think of a way to explain what this is kind of like.
Okay.
It's like you are a soldier in World War II and, or like somewhere around in that era, and you're not even from America, but somehow you get sent over to fight in World War II, and there's like a subplot line where you can fuck Eleanor Roosevelt.
I'm more lost now. I'm way more lost now. Interesting war to pick, Asmon. Google, what was Asmon's WoW character named after?
Really? And that would be pretty fucking weird, wouldn't it? That'd be pretty odd. Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't understand the analogy. If it would be like if you could have sex with Eleanor Roosevelt. What is this game doing that's similar to fucking Eleanor Roosevelt?
Games Outwent, yes. It's just a game. It is just a game. The thing is that I know it's just a game, but it to me it's funny. Like I'm not Japanese, and I think the reason why a lot of people are talking about this is that the premise of the game is set basically like the game came out and it was released and it was expressed to the public as if it's like, oh, well, it was done almost in like a patronizing way. I think that a lot of people felt where this game gets made, it gets put out there, it has this storyline that's obviously exaggerated to like, you know, like a power of fucking 50, right? And then they're trying to like virtue signal basically with having this stuff in the game, and people find it annoying, right? And so if the story from the very beginning was about a fake character, and like, for example, I've been playing, as I said before, I've been playing Rise of the Rohirrim. This is a very good game. I really enjoy this game a lot. And they have a historical character, Matthew Perry, in the game. And so Matthew Perry is a...
Did he have a stroke? Does not say Ronan?
I think he's from America. I don't remember exactly. And he's from this game.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And
Maybe it's not pronounced Ronan.
he is a honorable, reasonable, good guy.
That's Middle Earth.
He's not like a stupid, like moron. Like I feel like he's respectful in the game, right? And so, because it's like the idea of like colonial Japan, and there's like a bunch of other stuff. So the problem isn't that you're using historical characters. The problem is that you're using historical characters and then making an argument to authority of their authenticity. That's, I think, what really annoyed a lot of people. Does that make sense?
Huh? You just but we just watched what the Prime Minister had to say, and the Prime Minister literally said, I don't care about what you guys think is accurate or not, but when you are using real shrines that exist in Japan now, please don't make them desecratable in the game, because that has real consequences in the real world. Yeah, if you want to fucking put fruits that don't make sense in the time period, I don't care about that. That's fine. But like, huh? He's doing the meme right now. The like, I'm offended on your behalf on something you didn't say.
That's what annoyed a lot of people. Is like, you're making this argument to authority, like, oh, well, we understand this. We brought in cultural experts and we're telling you this. That's it. And so it's a Team Ninja game though, right? Yeah, exactly. And it's disrespectful actions. Yeah, exactly. It's degrading the native characters. Exactly. And so...
Wait, but that's not what he said. We just watched the Prime Minister speak. He didn't even say that.
Yeah, to be fair, and I'm not defending Assassin's Creed, the third game makes Washington a villain in the DLC, and no one said it was disrespectful to the birth of the US. So the reason why it's not a problem for them to do that, and you also fight the Pope, and it's also not a problem, is because they never presented the game as any form of historical context in a way that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but...
I have to see the transcript of this. I have to see. The problem is... Sorry. You also fight the Pope, and it's also not a problem. It's because they never presented the game as any form of historical context in a way that, like, and then he pauses, and let's see, correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
As soon as Yasuke was announced as a character, everybody was like, what the fuck? There's not even certainty that this guy was a samurai.
But that's not even true. Huh? There were multiple, like, Japanese scholars that actually study the period of time where Nobunaga was around and said, yeah, I mean, was he on a, I think, is the term on retainer, or was he a retainer? Yeah, but colloquially, we can all call him a samurai, because at the end of the day, he was given weapons that he was allowed to use. And that's how it makes sense to refer to him that way. Like, there were literally Japanese people who study the period of time where Nobunaga existed and specifically said, we can call him a samurai. Everyone knows what that means here. A samurai is a type of retainer. That's what he was. There's nothing wrong with calling him a samurai. So what is this, like, everybody said? There's not even a certainty that this guy was around, which is also not true. I'm pretty sure it's not, there's no uncertain terms about a black man that went by Yasuke existing in Japan. It's what his specific role was and how much respect he was given. That's the question. It's not whether or not he existed. This is not a story like, he wasn't Jesus. Our literature seems to suggest that he was a real person.
That's not even what's going to happen. It's also their own culture. And that's another thing too. And so, and this goes into like what I was saying is that in like Western American culture, it's much more okay to make fun of Christianity than like, I'd say Judaism, Islam, or Hinduism, right? And it's not as okay to make fun of those because that's not our culture, right?
What are we, what? It's okay to make fun of culture if it's your culture? But then why does he have such a problem? Why do Asmongold fans come in here and get so mad when I shit talk America then and tell me to leave if I don't like it? I thought it was okay to shit on your culture. I was born and raised here. Which one is it? Is it that you're allowed to shit on your culture or you're not allowed to shit on your culture?
So like it's very different when you have a culture that's satirizing itself versus a culture that's satirizing and seemingly appropriating another culture. Do you
You're not American, you're Kamala. Stop. I sent a link on the fact check. Fact check, famous 16th century Japanese samurai was an African expatriate. Claim African servant named Yasuke became a samurai warrior. Claims about the extraordinary acts of the little-known Africans and Black Americans are a tradition in February, which marked Black History Month. College Kids describes a seemingly anachronistic historical figure, African samurai named Yasuke. Almost 500 years ago, a tall African man named Yasuke arrived in Japan in 1579. He would go on to become the first foreign-born man to achieve the status of samurai warrior. Read the statement set above, 2 images of statues that might bear Yasuke's likeness. These fucking ads, dude. Social Security recipients under $2,300 a month now entitled to 12 month kickbacks in March. Stop. Okay, sorry. Where's the fact check on it? Did a warrior exist? Who was Yasuke? Some historians think that he might have been a slave, but he was hired to protect Valignano on a missionary trip to the Asian country, according to African Samurai, The True Story of Yasuke, a legendary black warrior in Japan, by Thomas Lockley and Jeffrey Gerard.
Monday, all things considered,
Or
no
Gerard? Thank you, Junks. His country of origin is a source of debate. He was possibly from Mozambique, Ethiopia, or Sudan. A man of his size and coloring was rare, sight for native Japanese who followed him wherever he went. His height was 6 shaku to sun, roughly 6 feet 2 inches. He was black. His skin was like charcoal. Fellow samurai Matsudara Aitada described him in his diary in 1579. Yeah, like this is my understanding that there are like multiple accounts from multiple Japanese people who existed during that time period that said that I mean, there weren't a lot of black people in Japan at this time. He was probably one of the only, if not like the only person. So I imagine he probably stuck out a little bit like a sore thumb because it's like, and it's not like people have TV, right? It's like, wait, what? Yo, what character creator access did this guy get? I didn't get that fucking setting. What the hell? Why is this guy twice my size? What the fuck? So it's not surprising that we would have a lot of accounts of him having existed. As their relationship developed, Oda promoted him to a samurai. According to Taylor, he was given his own servant, house, and stipend. According to Jesuit records, he fought by Oda's side in a series of major battles, including invasion of Iga province in 1581. According to CNN, the samurai was with the feudal lord when his samurai general Mitsuhide Akachi turned against Oda a year later. The rebel general released Yasuke into the Jesuit custody because, according to African samurai, because he was not Japanese. After losing his status, he fought in the Battle of Okitsanawate as a Ronin on the side of the Jesuits between 1581 and 1582. He disappeared from verifiable records after the autumn of 1582. So basically everything prior to that, we have a pretty good record of him having existed. So this idea that like the major contention that people have is whether or not he existed is not accurate. We feel pretty certain that he did exist.
Kind of like how the difference there is, and it's the same thing as like, you know, it's like the implicit thing that you can make racist jokes about your own race. I think this is very, very established, right? I do it all the time about making jokes about white people. Somebody else does that and they're a different skin color. People are going to get mad about it, right?
Compromise post. Thomas Lockley is the guy posting fake news. What did he post that was fake news?
And so, yeah, that's it. And that's, it's Travis. Yeah, exactly. And so that's I think the reason. I think it's the argument to authority that people had. The main reason Japanese are boycotting this game is the foreigner killing.
Are the Japanese boycotting this game?
Japanese is culturally insulting to them.
I mean, where are we coming up with this random stuff in his chat when the prime minister is literally saying that it's the desecration of the shrine, which has actually had real life impacts, and that there are shrines today in Japan that are getting defaced. And it's forcing them to make it so that some shrines you cannot visit them as a tourist.
Really? I thought they just didn't like the combat. No, I don't know.
Huh?
It's not our place to tell another culture what should and shouldn't be offensive. Well, you can do whatever you want. Like, you have the right to make something that's offensive to Japanese people, but you don't have the right to do that and then make the argument to authority that you're doing it and it's historically respectful. You can be disrespectful, but don't go and act like you're not doing that.
What authority?
That's the difference.
I didn't know that Assassin's Creed on their website, they explicitly state that we're a historically accurate, very respectful to other cultures company. I didn't know that that was an official statement from Assassin's Creed. I'm pretty sure their official statement is probably just like, we want to make game fun. Also, we have to make game fun and make money for Ubisoft. Huh?
におきまして現存する固有名詞等を商用利用する際
They
には
literally state that it's a work of fiction with liberties taken.
その知的財産を有する個人や団体等に許可を得る必要があるものと認識をしております。知的財産を無許諾で利用されているケースにおきましては、個別の事情によるものであるため、当事者間で協議されるものと承知をしております。その上で神社側等から相談がございまして、
And here he is talking about shrines again. If shrines or others reach out with concerns, we'd work with relevant agencies to handle it appropriately.
It's payback for Pearl Harbor. They're French. They weren't even there.
Huh?
No, they're French. That's not even it. Like, what do you mean?
ただ、ひろゆき君、ありがとうございます。今の答弁ありましたようにですね、やっぱり無許可で使用するということは本当にいけないことだと思いますし、
Using things without permission is really unacceptable in my view. I'm determined to keep a close.
私もしっかりと注視していきたいと思っています。それでですね、それに伴いまして昨今、コロナ禍の影響もすれまして、観光客が急
Oh boy. Bro, they about to make Japan a private server. Straight up. Yeah. I don't blame them. Honestly, I don't either. I think it's disgraceful. It's absolutely, it's disgraceful.
There's something just so rich about talking about what is and what isn't disgraceful to a group of people and then listening to them speak, not hearing a word, and then claiming what you want to be true is true. That it's actually that you're killing the Japanese people as a black man and they hate it, even though no one has said that in this video. I'm in awe. I'm in awe, dude. What is happening?
The way that people act over there. It really is. It's same with Korea, right?
回復しまして、各地でオーバーツーリズムによ
Over
る様々
tourism
な
is
問題
causing
が
all
生じており
sorts of
ます。
problems.
まあ、中
For
に神
instance,
社の
people
鳥居によ
climbing
じ
on
登
the
ったり
shrine
ですね、
torii
神
gates.
社の石柱へ
Oh
落
wait,
書き
that's what I did in Assassin's Creed yesterday. Or scribbling graffiti on shrine pillars. Wait, they've got tourists that are climbing on torii gates and scribbling graffiti.
I don't understand attacking shrines thing. Like, why would they attack the shrines just because they see it in a video game and it seems fun? Fucking, I don't know, dude. Basically, yeah.
What the fuck?
するなど観光客の迷
Tourist
惑行為は
misbehavior
観
is
光
turning
妨害と
into a
も言
real
える事
tourism
態であり
headache.
ます。
Yeah.
That's also something I've been talking about on
Yeah.
my channel.
Yeah.
A lot of foreigners who do that. I gotta be honest, just because they think Japanese won't fight back.
That's
Japanese
exactly why they do it, by the way. That's why they don't do it in China. They don't do this in China. They do it in Japan. They don't do this in North Korea. They do it in South Korea. They don't do this in, I don't know, some random village in Africa or some like more developing country in Africa. They're doing it up in Europe, in Sweden or something like that.
What?
Yeah, they're not doing this in Dubai. They're not doing this in...
What is they are not doing this? What is the they and what is the this?
I never see them go over to Saudi Arabia and do this. Doesn't happen.
Oh, like tourist defacing stuff? What's the greater point that we're talking about here?
Graffiti on concrete is one thing, but torii gates, I actually think the graffiti is worse. Because it's like after somebody's off a torii gate, they're off of it, right? And like, unless they're really fat, it's not going to affect the thing. But like if you've got...
I mean, this is also not true. I mean, like literally, isn't Johnny Somali literally in trouble right now? And he's like in jail in Korea for this exact reason? What are we talking about? Like, there's a major story about this. I don't even understand how you can get on your fucking stream and then just like lie to your audience and tell them this doesn't happen in South Korea, as if we're all fucking morons and don't know anything that's happening in the news ever. Like, what? Huh?
Graffiti on it. I mean, that's like a permanent...
Also, yeah, somebody else also said it, but you can clean graffiti if you damage the structure enough. It's kind of fucked.
Print on it, and like I don't know, like it's both disrespectful, and as a tourist going to a country, this is outrageous that people would act this way. It's completely disgraceful.
He's saying that people are doing it in South Korea, but they wouldn't dare in North Korea. That's because no one can get into North Korea. Huh? Where are y'all finding these North Korea flights? What the hell? What, the Spirit Airlines not providing some fucking $200 flights to North Korea all of a sudden? I didn't hear about this shit, man. Fuck. What the hell are we talking about? You never been? Shit, no, I've never been. What the fuck?
It's embarrassing.
Won't say anything, or they're taking advantage of Japanese politeness or kindness.
Yeah, exactly. That's
or
exactly
even
what he's
shyness.
doing. Yes.
And it's very natural that as a Japanese, if we see that game, we feel like, oh, they can do that because they think Japanese won't say no.
Exactly.
私は
That is 100% what's happening.
I mean, no, that's not what's happening. Usually, I mean, this is the same with everything. I mean, it's Hanlon's razor. You can chalk up things to ignorance instead of to malice. The person who probably spent the time building these shrines, they found a real life reference to that specific shrine. They put it in the game. They designed it. And it's probably the case that all furniture or anything that would be considered furniture in any building is destructible. It's that someone failed to recognize somewhere in this process, maybe we shouldn't make this destructible, or worse yet, which is very likely, someone rang the alarm on it and said, hey, listen, Mr. Suits, maybe we should make the shrines not destructible. It might be offensive. And some fucking higher up said, go fuck yourself. Who cares? That's more. How much time would that take you? 5 minutes? No, we have better things to do. Get back to your crunch schedule. Like that's way more likely than like they actively made a malicious decision to allow it to make the game more offensive. Like, that's stupid. No, it was just someone that didn't consider maybe we should make these items not destructible.
In
this game, NPCs, non-player characters, and these real places are used without permission. You can attack them or destroy them. What if that kind of behavior in the game?
Also, shrines and other stuff in Assassin's Creed games are destructible as well. This is just the first time anyone cared. Well, yeah, because it's having, like, at least partially, there are people doing it in the real world, and Japan probably wants to make sure that we're not encouraging it in any way. Right?
Spills over into the real world. Could it inspire copycat nuisance acts? So, like, half of this is stupid, but the reality of it is true.
Check my link. Asmon's argument falls apart that Japan doesn't fight back. Japan's hostage justice system. Nakamura family's lost faith in Japan's legal system. Nakamura, senior tax accountant, had pancreatic cancer when the police arrested him in 2016 for fraud. His lawyer made multiple requests for bail. The court rejected 7 bail applications filed by Nakamura's lawyer on medical grounds that his cancer was spreading. He was finally released in March 2017. The trial court and court of first appeal found him guilty. I mean, sorry, isn't this just because their punitive system is really brutal? Like, I know people will sometimes post videos of someone stealing a bunch of phones from, like, an Apple store, and they'll be like, you could never do this in Japan. This never happens in Japan because of a homogeneous culture. It's like, Google, what's the penalty for theft? The conviction rate's really high, and the penalty for crimes is very severe. That's why there's less crime that happens. It's because you don't want to go to super jail because you stole a loaf of bread or something. Like, I mean, it's a way to set up a legal system, but
is that it's not Assassin's Creed that's causing people to go over to Japan and treat it like a PvP server, even though it's a PvE server. No, that's not what's happening. It's not Assassin's Creed that's doing that. It's live streamers that are doing it. And I guarantee
it's absolutely part of it. I mean, I agree that, like, honestly, I think if you're like an IRL streamer, you should have to, like, if you're an IRL streamer and you want to stream in other countries, you should have to prove yourself in some way before you're allowed to record. Like Jake and Bake, he can just show his old content. They're like, you're free to go. Clearly a respectable person. You're clearly a respectable man. You're free to go. Please. They pull up Johnny Somali's content. Get the fuck out of our country right now. Get the fuck out of our country right now. We just saw your content. Get the fuck out of our country right now. I think that's a good system. I think it's a very good system. If you're a live streamer and you want to stream there, they should be allowed, the authorities should be allowed to look at your content first before they allow you to stream there. Okay. I also just, like, I hate content creators. I'm sorry. I hate the term influencer with such a passion, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. But then I see certain things, like, for example, Speed, and I'm like, see, this guy getting a pass, dope as shit. I show Speed rode in the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra, which costs $70K with 1,500 horsepower and can go from 0 to 60 in 1.92 seconds.
Car
Retail is about $70,000.
70,000?
Yeah.
And it's faster than my Lamborghini.
Unfortunately, it is.
And it's electric.
All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of acceleration. Hold
Let me see.
Oh! So
damn!
That's all.
Whoa!
I won't do any faster than that. Quite rapid.
Bro, ain't no way! Yo!
Maybe a little more. Up to 70.
Bro, hold on. Wait. Yo, ain't no way!
All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Damn!
Yeah, so...
And it costs 70,000?
Yeah.
Dude, the driver's being so respectful. No more. Okay, maybe a little more. Okay, you ready? Maybe just a little more. Okay, ready? Fucking gas, is it?
Chat, my Lamborghini costs $250,000.
Model S Plaid in China costs about 100, a bit more, 120.
What the hell? Karl.
Retail.
Speed just destroyed American government's anti-Chinese propaganda with this stream. Oh, oh my god. No gas denim, he electrocutes it. Sorry, he doesn't gas it. You're right. My bad, my bad, my bad. I love that he said, yes, unfortunately, it is faster than your Lamborghini. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Dude, I want to watch more of the Speed China live streams. They're so dope. All the clips I've seen have been so dope. Just a bit hits Mach 7. Oh, fuck, dude.
To you that as soon as they saw one person going over to Japan and getting clout and getting their clips posted around for being crazy in Japan, a bunch of other people went over there to do the exact same thing. So like it's not a pipeline of like video games translate to real life behavior. It's real life behavior translates to more real life behavior. Logan Paul, easy.
I mean, if the real life behavior is happening, period, you probably want to prevent it from happening in the game, right? Because like the thing is, maybe you defacing that shrine in the game, you wouldn't think twice about it. But if you try and destroy the shrine and it's not destructible, it might make you think like, oh, maybe this is like really respectful and that's why they made it not destroyable. Okay. And then you have that information with you permanently. It's more about the negative existing might make you think twice about why it exists. That's it. Also, our chuds are echoing this back to us. When chuds were mad about Origins Egypt having black people, Egypt told them to shut the fuck up and they didn't care.
I don't think it's because of Logan Paul. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't want to come off like a Logan Paul defender here, but let's be real. He did a really stupid thing. He apologized for it. And as far as I know, he's never really said or denigrated Japan since then. Like he did apologize. Like, and the big difference there is that a bunch of these other live streamers never apologized for it. They've never, said, hey, I shouldn't have done that. It
doesn't matter if they apologize for it because they showed that the publicity stunt was effective. That's the problem. The problem is like, I've talked about this before, but basically once you have fame, you can kind of do whatever you want with it and you can like rehabilitate your image. So a lot of people, this is like a very viable content strategy for a lot of content creators that they do this like awful shit so that they can get infamy and then they apologize, do their apology tour so that now they have all this clout and then they can change and grow as people. Basically, as long as you don't commit sex crimes, you will get forgiven on the internet as long as your content is entertaining. The apology doesn't mean anything if you're proving that the original act that got you that infamy worked. Like you? Exactly. Precisely. The difference here is that I try to make the people that I go after, or I try to pick shitty targets. So someone like Ethan Klein, who is frequently parroting pro-Israel, pro-genocidal rhetoric, yeah, I think it's actually fine to go after someone like that and like make fun of them publicly. Go after here just meaning make fun of them publicly. And I think a lot of people have such a distaste in their mouth from all of the stuff that Ethan Klein has said over the years that they might see someone like me talking about him and say, actually, yeah, I'm glad somebody is talking about this. Does it mean that I'll get some infamy? Yeah. Does it mean that some people will misrepresent my positions and pretend like I justified or said anything that I didn't say? Yeah, of course. But like, I refuse to accept the reality where like only the bad people should use the techniques that they want to use and we should always be moral and have high ground. Because that's exactly, how the Democratic Party became the pathetic party that they are. It's, we can't stoop to the Republican Party and actually, I don't know, do anything for our constituents. We have to play nice and have decorum. Fuck that. I'm not going to be a Chuck the Cuck. Hell no. As long as the people that you're criticizing are people that use their platform to be shitty, yeah, you can criticize the fuck out of them. You're more than welcome to make fun of them. I think the second you become a content creator, other people are allowed to look at you and say, LOL, you're an idiot. In the same way that I respect that other people are allowed to say that about me. I'm not, yeah, when they go low, we get on our knees and open our mouth. Like, I'm not doing that shit. Fuck you. Hell no. You go low, I'll match you there. They stole one Supreme Court judge from us, but let's not do the same to them. Libbers. Also, this assumes that the Democratic Party isn't intentionally controlled by opposition to maintain a right-wing Overton window. I mean, I'm not going to get too tinfoily, but my decorum. Yeah. Also, what's wrong with criticizing people? To me, that's just normal human interaction. I mean, I think that the argument there is like it goes a little further than criticizing. It goes into like being mean, like making jokes at Ethan Klein's expense. But like, what? If you're a shitty person and you say shitty things on the internet, no one's allowed to say mean things about you? That's stupid. That's dumb as fuck. Hell no. Okay. So is this whole video just like, let's see what the original video says. On the legal side, graffiti on shrines, he says it's simple. It wasn't about forcing beliefs on anyone. It might seem small, but as a nation without that, diplomacy doesn't work. We have to call it out. This is not okay with me. It shouldn't fly. So literally the entire video is just the prime minister saying that it shouldn't be allowed to be, it shouldn't be the case that in these games you should be able to deface the shrines. And the entire video, Asmongold is just pretending like this is anything other than that.
A lot of comments that, a lot of Japanese comments that was called racist or liar, or you are not Japanese or kind of stuff. And I made that video.
Yeah.
The first video of Assassin's Creed.
I
And after I made an
that.
Assassin's Creed Shadow video in English, a lot of people in the West talking about it. Or Japanese is actually mad.
Yeah.
And then everyone's small voices became really big.
And they're actually talking about this in Parliament. That is crazy.
Also, it's such a stupid idea. What? Like, if you are part of a group of people, you can't be wrong. Like, oh, well, Candace Owens is black, so everything that she says about black people and all of the assumptions that she makes about black people must be totally accurate. Like, what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. What? But just because you're Japanese and you have something to say about, like, Assassin's Creed, it means that your opinion is shared by every single Japanese person? That's first of all, that's not possible. Huh? It's literally not possible. Also, there's a major difference between a prime minister speaking on, like, the desecration of real shrines and how this is a severe problem, and some random person on the internet saying, well, I don't like that there are black people in this game. Like, you can't, it's racist to assume that a group of people are a monolith. That's racist by nature. Or, like, a bigoted by nature to make those generalizations.
It's not finished yet. Let's see what they can do. And then I'll do what I can do. You do what you can do. You have a happy day today. Bye.
You can disagree with someone based on like what what arguments they make. And I think you should take like you should be taking people's opinions with a grain of salt, especially if they're from a particular group of people. But like it's stupid to say that like just because you are part of a particular group, it means that you cannot be wrong about what your group thinks. That's dumb.
Wow. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
That is nuts.
If you enjoyed
Let me link
this
you guys the video.
Click on the left for the fun video about
Give it
Japan,
a like.
and on the right to see more videos. You guys have a great day.
That is insane. So this game has been so problematic to Japanese culture that they're talking about it in Parliament. Oh my God. And I do find it to be like just prime disrespect that you can have Yasuke, who is like not even to be certain a samurai. And
I mean, that's not true, but okay.
It's like people are like unsure about this guy's like place in Japanese history in general. You know, one of the main historians that was about him was completely discredited. And now he's hooking up with the sister of one of the like one of the more.
Why would they allow this to happen? It's fiction. It's literally fiction. We made it up.
well-known people in Japanese history. I feel like that's kind
Does this not come off as kind of racist? Hey, this character that existed at this time wants to have sex with other people? Ew! Like, I don't understand what universe we're in. Where we're talking about this.
of a lot, isn't it? Yeah, that really is a lot.
Quote, how dare you let a black man sleep with one of your women? End quote is all I hear. I don't know how you're supposed to hear anything else.
And so I don't know what to say. The wiki guy was in the beginning. Yeah, exactly. And so a lot of it is fiction. I know it's fiction, but the problem is that they argued it from the perspective of being a, you know, like authentic, right? Like
No, they didn't.
Okay, the entire argument for
No, they didn't. Assassin's Creed doesn't Assassin's Creed consistently put like this is a work of fiction in front of their games? No, they didn't. Much like a lot of other games, they like to use certain periods or like a lot of other pieces of media because it makes the game more interesting, or some people just want to do those type of games or shows or whatever. But it's still a work of fiction. They know that it's a work of fiction. They're not pretending like it's this like realistic game that's totally accurate to history. Like that's stupid.
why Yasuke is the main character is because he was a real person. And you understand that, like, whenever you make that your argument and you say, you make the argument to authority that, yes, it's okay that we're doing this because he was a real
What argument to what authority? That's not happening. They said they wanted to make this game, and that's why they're making
person,
it.
And then you disrespect everything else. People are going to think that it's a little bit fucking transparent. So that's what I would say. It's still a video game. Yeah, it is just a video game, but I think that people can have an opinion about the video game, right? Of course they can. So that's it. And can we disagree with Japan on this one? Well, that's fine, but I don't think that you...
Again, like, this is... If you speak to people who are game developers, or you speak to people who work even on, like, mods for games, you know that when something isn't in a game, there's a good chance it's just because someone didn't have an active thought to add that in a game. Right? So when someone, for example, the person who put in that specific shrine, they probably didn't think much about whether or not it should be destructible or not. They probably thought, okay, we're going to put this shrine here, we'll put this here, we'll put this here. And after the fact, it was like, oh, they don't want it to be destroyed. Okay, sure, we can do that. It's not like we were trying to make this as offensive as possible to the Japanese people. Like, that's what the fuck? What? Oh, hi, Tor. Oh, thank you, Aaron, looking up.
If the Japanese people find it to be disrespectful, then you can't really tell them that they're wrong. Like, I don't
But
think
nobody told them that they're wrong.
that, like,
Did you
Assassin...
see a clip about him saying he doesn't rely on resources and relies on chat as information when he polls about right versus left? No, I didn't see that clip. No.
Assassin's Creed has to, like...
Stop.
The thing is that you can do one of two things. You can make a video game that's respectful to Japanese culture and is taking an honest effort to portray it in a way that's respectful and you know, like, interesting and not degrading for those people. Or you can make a bullshit game, right? And that's fine, but don't make a bullshit game and then try to act like you're making a respectful game. That's the only thing. That's the only difference. And I think...
But they didn't... This feels like an inverted woke opinion, but they didn't say that. But they didn't say that. You're obsessed with this guy, LOL. No, the truth is I just like farming people like you. So I pick a couple of people on the internet and I make them my clowns of the day. So I can get people like you to be like, you always talk about this guy. And then tomorrow, for example, when I talk about Ethan Klein, I should be able to farm some Ethan Klein fans. And they'll come in here and say, you always talk about this guy. And then maybe the day after that, I'll do like Nick Merckx or something so that the Nick Merckx fans can come in. You guys are really easy to farm. It's not much, but it's honest work. It is honest work.
I think that's so reasonable. That's so completely reasonable.
You are right, though. This could be solved so quickly, but he's just actively twisting his own panties for the sake of rage farming. Yeah, the saddest thing is that, like, this is just rage farming. Like, it's a very simple, just the prime minister saying, hey, we have a problem where tourists are fucking defacing our shrines, and it's very disrespectful to the people who made Assassin's Creed. The game is fine, but if you could make these things not destructible, it's very offensive. First of all, it's offensive to us, but also it's having real life consequences.
Yes, you can do what you want to do, but don't be surprised if some people don't like it over there. And if they keep making things woke, I might have to end up going outside for once in a while to start.
What's woke about this? It's woke to put items in a game and make them destructible? That's woke now. Just everything is woke.
Search for normalcy. POC Samurai rewrites histories and topples Japanese evil patriarchy with his swing and his gay non.
Dude, what? Okay, can I just say, what is with the right-wing obsession about, like, black men and cocks? Why? Why do they talk about it so often, mention it so often? It's weird, right? Like, I'm not crazy here. It's weird that so many right-wingers think about black dick so often. It's very weird. It's, like, very weird. I'm very uncomfortable when I see that shit. It's giving, like, it's giving penis envy. It's giving cuck porn.
Non-binary friends. Oh my fucking god. Put a chick in it. Make her gay and lame. Japan should sue Ubisoft.
The chick is gay and lame?
Maybe, right? Check the wiki. Oichi, Nobunaga's sister and possible romance for Yasuke, is regarded as a symbol of an honorable woman in Japan. She's also commonly known for...
Oh, that's what the statement earlier was about Eleanor Roosevelt or something? It was about the fact that you can have sex with Nobunaga's sister?
But what will we do without a game that has a Japanese samurai in it?
Honorable conduct, beauty, and determination.
Game I can play that has one, like, at all. It just doesn't exist. It has to be this game.
I'm sorry. There is something very funny about, like, getting mad about, like, sexualizing Japanese women, but, like, you have no problem sexualizing women, like, every other day of the week. Like, I know Asmongold would laugh at, like, a Nancy Reagan throat goat tweet. Like, I know this fucker would laugh at that shit. Absolutely, you know that he would. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many memes were made recently about Kamala Harris or even, like, Hillary Clinton, where they were sexualizing these women? Like, it's so absurd to me to be like, oh, well, this guy's sister is very honorable. How dare you? Wow. He's acting like there's a hardcore sex scene in the game. No, flanking freedom, the tweet you're talking about. Oh, God.
Nation, someone who, albeit married for political reasons, genuinely loved her husband and known to be both faithful and dutiful wife. Well, now she's married to Yasuke.
No, the horror, no. Ah, no. How could this happen in my video game? Oh.
56 plus 19, that's basically 20, so that's about 75%.
He's polling his chat. Which percentage of the USA violence in the last 6 years is left-wing versus right-wing?
85% of people think that the vast majority of the violence is left-wing violence and extremism. This gaslighting and this bullshit about how, oh no, it's both sides, it's not both sides.
But that's what people in your chat think. But like, this is the first thing that they teach you in statistics. That your sample group matters. You're sampling a very particular audience that's gonna say that. Like, if I sampled you guys would probably rate, or you guys would probably think that right-wing violence is higher than what it actually is. Just like his audience is gonna think left-wing violence is higher than what it actually is. Because when you're polling a group of people, you have to recognize the bias that those people might have. What is this?
It's one side doing it, and then one or two instances of something like January 6th happens, and people constantly fixate on that without thinking about anything else besides it. I don't think your sources are valid. So why is it that my sources are not valid, but everybody seemingly comes to the exact same conclusion?
Well, everyone I know thinks this. What do you have to say about that, liberal? Can you imagine fucking being what's it? Starts with a C, I think. The sun revolving around the earth versus the earth revolving around the sun. Copernicus? Or am I thinking of someone else? Is it Copernicus? I can't remember. Heliocentrism. Let me. Yes. I mean, people suggested it before then, but it wasn't until the 16th century that a mathematical model of a heliocentric system was presented by Renaissance mathematician, astronomer, and Catholic cleric Copernicus, leading to the revolution, blah, blah. Dude, can you imagine being Copernicus and, like, you walk up to, like, Renaissance man Asmongold and his followers, and you're like, hey man, listen, I'm pretty sure the earth revolves around the sun. And he's like, everybody, this guy thinks this. What do you guys think? Hey, stupid. Most of my audience and followers don't think that. If the earth really does revolve around the sun, then why do so many people think that it doesn't? Checkmate, Renaissance man. Like, what is this? What is this logic? What is this logic? You can't point at a bunch of people believing something and then pretend like that's proof that people should believe that thing.
Why is this happening? Go figure, a right-wing chat thinks this. Statistic websites seem to differ. Well, the reason why statistic websites are differing is because their methods of data is inaccurate. The way that they are providing the data and the way that they're analyzing it is deliberately misrepresentative.
I'm sure he's going to provide a source for this immediately.
That's the reason why. And so a poll itself is the source, bro? Yeah, exactly. This is much more accurate.
No, this is AI. This is AI. No one would say something this stupid. No, this has to be AI. We're in agreement. Bozo has to be backed by same or similar company that Tim Pool is to spew such blatant brain rot. No, I think he's just like endorsed by Big Roach and it's like over for him. I don't even think he's getting necessarily backed by any particular group of people. I think he's just in it. He's just dumbass. He's just being a dumbass for the love of the game. I think.
Yeah, it is. There you go. And so you can see very clearly.
I just have to hear it again. I'm sorry.
That's the reason why. And so the poll itself is the source, bro? Yeah, exactly. This is much more accurate. Yeah, it is.
The poll itself is a source, this is definitely more accurate. This is more accurate than the FBI's numbers on arrests and attacks by political group. That's where we're at now. That polling your chat is more accurate than the stats that come from the FBI. Okay. I mean, sure, why not? Sure, why not? Yeah, let me poll my chat. Did Asmongold eat a moldy toast sandwich today? Let me poll my chat. This will be more accurate than anything else. Like, what?
There you go. And so you can see very clearly, this is it. The left also enables migrant criminality. This is an obvious echo chamber. I have a conversation which actually studies this. Well, I don't need to have a conversation with somebody. All I have to do is open my eyes and look what I've seen in the media for the last 5 years. What company have right-wing people targeted and burned down dealerships for or buildings for in the last 5 years? What company did this happen to?
The thing is, right-wing violence tends to be done by lone wolves, and they tend to shoot up schools and malls. The type of violence that happens based on groups tends to be different. Left-wingers tend to burn down buildings and destroy property. Right-wingers tend to kill people. The violence is just different by political group because the ideals and goals are different. Most notably, I would say protesters tend, when they are right-wing, they tend to go after Planned Parenthood. And they tend to deface or desecrate Planned Parenthood clinics. But generally, right-wing violence tends to be against people.
None. That's right. None. It doesn't happen. So it's just simply
none. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Okay. Like, I don't even know how you can just say this to your chat. I don't even know how you can say this to your chat when, like, there's literally it doesn't get better than this, man, in terms of sources. This is from justice.gov DOJ saying man pleads guilty to firebombing. He pled guilty to firebombing a Planned Parenthood clinic and plotting to attack an electrical substation. There are also the countless incidents of synagogues that have gotten attacked and mosques that have gotten attacked in the United States. And those are pretty much almost exclusively right-wing attacks. And we generally have footage of this stuff. California man pleaded guilty today to firebombing an attack on a Planned Parenthood clinic in Costa Mesa, Mesa in March 2022 and planning to attack an electrical substation in Orange County. He was 22, dude. Fuck. He pled guilty to 1 felony and conspiracy to damage an energy facility, 1 demeanor count of intentional damage to a reproductive health services facility. Faces a maximum penalty of 21. This is like the thing it's really sad. It's like all of the people who like get radicalized. These people are like, they're not even old, dude. Like they have their whole life ahead of them and they've been fucking convinced by freaks that they should throw their life away at 22. So they can what? Firebomb a fucking Planned Parenthood? During the early summer of 2023, Urgel and Brennan also discussed researched how to attack the Dodger Stadium parking lot or the stadium's electrical room on a night celebrating LGBTQI pride. Using using a device that could be detonated remotely. Like, there was an abortion clinic that was bombed in the 70s and killed a doctor and patients, pro-life, by the way. Like, it's just, like, this is such blatant lying, right? Saying that it doesn't happen. Right-wingers don't attack things and don't commit terrorism. It's just like, I don't even understand how you can say that. Like, it's just wrong. Dude, I mean, like, yeah, here's ACLU talking about nationwide anti-mosque activity, also anti-synagogue activity. The people that generally target mosques and synagogues are right-wingers.
Not the same. Yeah, please name one. Exactly. It's so...
Please name one. I just listed like 4. And that's like... there have been many more.
And this is the thing, is that a lot of people that are defenders of this are going to try to use like these arguments. Oh yeah, well, look at this study that, you know, uses a frame of reference from 1948 to make a judgment call on what's happening now. It's outrageous.
$1948. What are we talking? This is the Planned Parenthood instance is literally from like 2 years ago. He was just charged recently. What? Huh? Here, I mean, the one that someone else linked from the ACLU about nationwide anti-mosque activity. This is just from since 2005. Like, what are we talking about? This is literally just what's happened in the past century, or sorry, not century, sorry, decade or two. I just, man, this is why people say that being a right winger is easy. Because all I have to do to get on, sorry, if I wanted to be a right winger, all I would have to do is get on and say, see, listen, you guys get it, all right? I bet you can't even think of an instance of right wing violence. Why? Because it doesn't exist. And that's it. And like, that's it. Anyone who links anything otherwise, you can just like fucking delete their message. I just, man, lying is OP, dude. Please nerf. Please nerf lying. Please nerf.